Good early morning, everybody. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I've been up since about 2:30, so excuse the way I look. I wanted to come up because it's been a while since I've done an update on symptoms. Um, and I'm just so tired. For the past, I'm gonna say, it kind of started back in October, but not as much as it has been the last couple months. Um, we often talk about symptoms and how our body will develop new ones. One of mine is my sleeping. Now, granted, it's hard for us to get comfortable at night to sleep, and some nights we are tired, but our bodies will not shut down. And I know a lot of people focus on the pain because, well, it's pretty loud and it screams at us all the time. But our disease is not just about pain; it's about everything. I've seen a lot of new faces coming up in the community. If you're not familiar with our community, it is called Our Journey, Our Truth. It is a private community on Facebook, and we've had our community now for about roughly 5 years, I believe. It's hard to believe that we've had it that long already. Um, and it is just a place for us to share our journey. It is a place for us to find the support that we need. It is a judge-free zone. We don't judge one another. Um, we don't tolerate bullying, and me nor my moderator, we do not tolerate it whatsoever. Um, but it's just a place where, and it's a mixed community, meaning it's not just warriors, people that live with CRPS, but it's also supporters, whether that be a loved one or just somebody on Facebook that wants to support us. Um, when I decided to create the community back in 2020, 2021, um, I wanted to make it a mixed community. That way, loved ones and friends could follow along and see what it is that their loved one is going through, what it is that, and learn. Sometimes the proof is in the pudding, so to speak. And I feel like sometimes when we go to our loved ones, they're not listening or they don't believe what it is that we're going through. And I feel like sometimes if they're put, and we don't put them there, it's obviously their choice. But if we're put in a situation where it's others around us that are saying, hey, no, this is happening. Hey, no, this is what I'm going through. I feel like if you're put in a situation where it's not just your loved one going through it, it's like a light switch, and it kind of wakes you up and go, oh, wait a second, maybe my loved one isn't lying, or maybe my loved one isn't exaggerating. This stuff is real. It's very real. We are the oldest, if not one of the oldest diseases known to man, um, and very few people know about us. So it's not just people around us, but there's doctors out there that don't believe in this. There's doctors out there that feel like it's all in our head and we're making it up. And yes, believe it or not, sadly but true, there are doctors out there. There are medical professionals out there who turn their back on their patient when their patient is coming to them with the stuff that's going on and they don't understand it. They turn their back instead of doing their oath that they took, and that is harm no one. And when you turn your back on somebody, you are harming them, and poo poo on you. You don't deserve to be a doctor. You don't deserve to be in medicine. You don't deserve to be out there helping others. And the reality is, you're out there for the paycheck. You're not out there for the moral reasonings of being a doctor. So, with that being said, I could go on and on about that. But I haven't been up here lately talking about symptoms. Um, and so my symptom is my sleeping. It's I'm so lethargic. I'm just so tired that there's been two times this past week that I actually was awake through the day and didn't take a nap. Now, mind you, I was never a person to take a nap anyway. I was a single mom. I worked 2 to 3 jobs some of the times. I was always on the go. My girls were in school activities and band and cheer and all that. So I didn't really have time to take a nap. But so I was never one to take a nap. And even in the beginning of my disease, I did not nap. Um, and then as it progressed, now I'm going on 13 years of this. So as it progressed, there were times where I would take naps here and there or whatever, but I was not one to take naps. Lately, I have been, and there's nothing wrong with that. I have a therapy appointment today, by the way, but my last therapy appointment, I was talking to her about my symptom and about how I've just been so tired and lethargic lately, and I'm not sleeping. It's like, and that's not good. That's not good for your psyche. That's not good for your mental health. You have to have sleep. And I'm trying really hard to. I thought the other day when I was up all day, I'm like, okay, maybe I will actually sleep through the night. Now, mind you, I take medication just like many of our warriors, and I take it throughout the day. And I take medication at night that actually relaxes me enough where I'm able to get some sleep. I'll fall asleep, but then I'm up. I'm not, I don't have that consistency. Now, I go to bed early, but I'm also an early riser. I go to bed early, but I'm up at 4:30. Sometimes I would get up before my alarm, so sometimes I would get up at 3:30. But lately, I'm up at there was one night I got up I got up at 10:30 at one point. I had taken a nap, and I was taking evening naps, which I hate because then it throws me all off. But I would take an evening nap around 4:30 ish, and I'd wake up around 8, 9 o'clock at night, and then I'm like, oh, wonderful, because I don't have a set schedule with my medication, but I take 3 times a day, so I have a schedule made for me with my medication. So when that happens, it throws my nighttime medication routine off, which I still take it, but it throws it off. And then there's I'm up again. There's been nights where I pulled all nighters before, where I was up all night long, and then I would finally fall asleep around 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I would sleep until about 8, 9 o'clock. Um, but I'm just so tired because my body. It's just a mess. It's just a mess right now. And speaking of medication, what time is it? It's after 3. Um, but it's just my sleep. Sorry, my sleep is all over the place, and I want to fix it. I want to get it back to normal. Um, and I don't know how to do that. Um, and I don't think I'll ever do that, quite honest. And I don't like this. I don't like, again, I like being an early riser. I like getting up before the world wakes up. That's the wind you hear, Bobby. Um, I like getting up before the world wakes up. But 12:30, taking the evening nap and then waking up at 12:30 or 11:30, at night, and then being up all night long. I did that one night too, where I I took it. I ended up falling asleep and taking. And it's not like It's not like I lay down. Okay, nap time. I just. That's what I've been doing, and so it's like I'll take a nap, and then I'll get up at 11, 12:30 at night, and then I'm up the rest of the night. Like I said yesterday, I had my grandson's birthday party. He turned 1 years old. He is the youngest out of 10 grandchildren. Um, and I was like a zombie. Like if I yawn, I apologize. Um, because I was up early Sunday. I think I got up at 1:30, 1:30 or 2:30. Um, and I'm like, oh, wonderful. I have my grandson's party. I don't want to go there and not be able to function like a human being. Um, but I was very tired, but I went. And it's like, I think after a while, your body gets used to functioning that way. Just like it gets used to living with pain, which a lot of people still don't believe how much pain we are in because they're like, there's no way that you can function like a human being and be in that much pain. You have to understand something. Our pain tolerance is higher than yours will ever be. Okay? That's how we're able to function while in pain. Imagine if you could being a person living in a world where everything that touches you hurts. You're going to stand in the middle of a room and never be touched. You're going to stand, our clothes, this blanket, the way I'm sitting. This hurts. This hurts. Touching this hurts my hand. I mean, we have to live. It might be a crappy life that we were handed, that we were dealt, but we have to live. Um, and it's just uh, this has been going on for a while now, so something my eyeball. And it plays with your mind because your mind's not getting that rest, so it's tired, it's hard to concentrate, it's hard to focus. um it's the worst feeling in the world for your mind to be so tired, but you just can't sleep. And I don't use that word lightly because all my warriors know I hate that word. Take my vitamins, I gotta order some more. I thought taking vitamins would help me feel better, but I guess they are to a point, but I get the Nature's Made Advanced Multi for women over 50 and plus. And they're the gummies. These are, I can't see what it says. I think it's the raspberry ones I got. Raspberry mixed berry. Sorry. You hear all this smacking going on. They're very good. Very good gummy. It's just, I try to advocate not just for myself, but for my warriors, for anybody that is living with this disease. You know, when I first got it, I had never heard of it. I had never been around anybody who had it. Um, and it's not an easy pill to swallow. It's not an easy pill to know that your life is going to change and you don't know how and you don't know when. CRPS does not come with a book of instructions. Everybody's symptoms are different. Some of us have deformities and some of us don't. I happen to be one that does. It's called drop foot. There is no surgery or anything that can help it. There is no therapy. Like, I've maxed out my therapy. And it's just something that I have to deal with. And because of my drop foot, I now have scoliosis. I have all kinds of problems with my neck. It's a mess. It really is, and it's like a domino effect because it changes us in every aspect. The person you knew us as before does not exist anymore. That person's gone, and that's also not an easy pill to swallow because we will have loved ones that get upset and mad at us. I don't know. I don't want to be around you. I, I don't know who you are. You're acting like this. You're saying these things. Like, we don't have control over that. Like CRPS takes over your life, and you have to just learn how to coexist with it. And it blows my mind how insensitive and ignorant the world can be to people that have disabilities because we're different. We don't matter because we're different. We're not worthy of your time, your love, your concern, your communication. Like, and that's that. And I've met so many of people out there that are like that. And it's not our fault that this happened to us. So, but I don't want to make this video too long, but I just wanted to share my newest symptom, one of my newest symptoms, and that's just my sleeping is all over the place, and I don't know if it will ever be the same again, quite honestly. It's been over 2 months since I've had a real, like, slept through like I usually do. I would take my medication, I would get cozy and get comfortable, and I'd go to sleep, and then I would get those hours, those straight solid hours of sleep. And not all the time. Like, I had my nights where I was just miserable and couldn't sleep, but those are far and in between. Now it's like every night. I don't expect to sleep through that. I mean, I like to. Sorry. Um, but I just can't. And I'm the type of person that once I'm up, I'm up. Like, it's very rare I will fall right back to sleep. Now I know I have a therapy appointment today, so I'm gonna try to stay awake for that. It's at 2 o'clock this afternoon, so I'm gonna try to stay awake. And then you know maybe I'll give Bubby a bath. He needs one. I wanted to give him a haircut too. Um, but